Yo, what's up? This is Metropolis.
Orifice Vulgatron.
DJ No Names, Foreign Beggars.
We chilling out here with Splash Mag.
Splash Mag Berlin, baby.
See it.
Alright. So, you're the Foreign Beggars and you're from the UK, right? But I think you're from the UK, isn't that right? Isn't it? Because your origins are a little bit different.
Definitely. I mean, I'm from Ghana, but I was born in the UK. And
I'm the least foreign. I got some Scottish in me and I was conceived in Afghanistan, so they let me in the group.
I'm from India, but I was born in Dubai. Then I came to London and I met these guys.
Okay. And I know that there's one guy who knows German.
Ja, schon auf Deutsch sprechen ein bisschen. Was geht ab?
Okay. So you were at the Splash Festival. This is a hip hop festival, but you've also been playing on other festivals. Yeah. So could you tell me how would you describe the range of your music? From where to where would you say you could be playing festivals?
Anywhere really. I mean, I think the only festival which might be out of the question, although we still make the crowd look like that, is like a hardcore like black metal festival. Or like, you know, a folk festival. However, we have played at a folk festival. We opened for the Proclaimers one time, which was a bit random, but still it's on the CV, you get me. But yeah, I mean, it's just different. I mean, we make rap music, but we're also from London, and London we've had lots of different influences in the music, you know? So it's like, there's a lot of old jungle influences, drum and bass influences, all the new dubstep, just all the dance music, and just different types of, yeah, we even bring like metal energy to the show, you know? So it's just a rap freak show, man.
It's cool because of all the different styles. We get to play a lot of different festivals this year. We've done like Viña Rock, which is a Spanish mainly rock festival. We've done where have we played? Exit Fest.
It was like Pendulum, Faith No More, Chemical Brothers, and then us after them. And then we're playing another festival in a couple of weeks after Hip Hop Camp, and it's like, it's a real hip hop festival again. So it's like with the Boot Camp and then Talib Kweli, but then they'll put us on at drum and bass festivals, or you know, just all kinds of stuff. Really,
I think it's because we've basically always been, you know, we've always tried to be really open with the kind of lyrics, like the kind of music that we make. We've never really limited ourselves to just making hip hop music. So I think that's just opened up the boards and allowed us to work with a lot of really cool artists and stuff.
So I think Pavan, you're into black metal or into metal, right? Yeah. So who of you guys brings in what? Who's the metal guy? Who's the drum and bass? Could you name it?
Well, I don't know. It's weird because when I first started, I was always a hip hop head up until I was around 23. And like now, my music influences, I listen to a lot of like 70s, 80s, like boogie and stuff, and so there's a few elements in the show and a lot of like future beats as well, like a lot of Flying Lotus stuff, and so you know, I think that's kind of my kind of field. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a DJ, so I play out. Obviously, coming from London, I play a lot of dubstep at the moment, a lot of grime music. You know, I still play hip hop, and I think, you know, coming from London, there's all that different type of music, and especially seeing as we play in a lot of clubs and nightclubs, there's a lot of high energy music that you can't ignore coming out of London now. So whereas before I was a lot more into soulful stuff and I listened to a lot of jazz music, I find that I listen to there's a lot of interesting electronic music that I play out as well. So, and that comes into the show as well, you know, a lot. You'll see a progression throughout the show from all the different styles of UK kind of underground music.
I think No Names definitely brought a lot of the grime stuff to me anyway, because I wasn't really 100% feeling it, just because I felt like subject matter wise it was a bit limited, and like, yeah, he kind of like got on my case. Nah, you need to feel this stuff. So
I mean, also the skills were limited until like a few years ago, man. Like MCs, like when it was in that transitional garage to grime phase, there's still a lot of MCs which were saying nothing, man, until just like recently. Now the bar is raised. They're the illest MCs in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
You guys have got a handful of some big artists from the UK. It's good to see. You know, you got the old school guys and you got the new grime guys. You know, both ends of the spectrum. It's cool.
So if we talk about artists in Germany, people will talk about Roots Manuva, Ty, Dizzy Rascal. So are there other artists people will forget who became big in the background, which you would name for your music or for the UK rap / grime scene?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's dudes like, like Skinny Man and Task Force and Jest, who've done a lot for the UK industry. And there's like London Posse, Rodney Pede, and also Hijack and Gunshot, those bands back in the day, which were probably bigger than any, for a long time. And then there's loads of other grime artists, like obviously the big guys like Wiley and Kano and Dizzy, but then there's other dudes like just under the surface like Devlin and Getz and Dot Rotten and Criminal and all of these other kids doing stuff, people like P Money. There's a lot of ill artists nowadays, and finally it's at a place now where UK rap artists can get mainstream radio play and mainstream recognition, and they get signed to major labels, So this is the first time I'm listening to the charts, and I'm hearing like a grime song and a garage song and then a rap song and then some gangster shit and then just some independent shit. So it's nice, man. It's a good time.
I think it's crazy as well because it didn't just come out of like the UK hip hop scene. It came out from garage, and it's like a lot of these grime artists are now kind of making hip hop music. And it's just a weird thing because in the UK there was always this hope like, oh, this is gonna be our year, and it's actually now happened. Where like when you look at like regularly getting like UK MCs charting in the top 10, it's incredible.
So it's so nice to see an artist like DWE, whose album's out this week, just getting so much hype, and so much love across the board from grime artists, hip hop DJs, everyone, all kinds of people.
So would you say that this whole grime hype opened up the ears of people around the world for UK music?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially in the States, like seeing guys like Dizzy go over there and Sway as well. Like Sway did make quite a big impact out in the States.
But I think also dubstep opened it up for grime as well, and drum and bass opened it up to to dubstep or whatever. But I think the mega mass acceptance of dubstep and the fact that dubstep and grime are from the same, they're from the same sperm, whatever, the egg, I think that's opened it up a lot. And I think like the fact that a lot of UK MCs are from a dance background and they got the dance background and the rap side down, like, that's one thing which is crossing over all over the world, just different types of rap music. And UK's got a different type of history with, like, you hear like a lot of other bands from around the world making like rapping on dance beats, but it doesn't have a scene or a structure or infrastructure or a history, whereas the UK has a big 15-year history of dance music and rap, and now it's got
taken even further back to the whole dancehall culture and all that kind of stuff is deep in London. There's a lot of very strong movements that have come together to form what you see as grime and dubstep now.
In Germany, there's an identity, or the hip-hop identity would be like people going back to the old school, like the first bands in early 90s. I have the feeling that in the UK it's a little bit different, because talking to other UK hip-hop / grime artists will end up like, no, I don't know Gunshot, I have never listened to that kind of music. So how would you describe the identity of UK musicians right now, hip-hop musicians, grime musicians? What are their roots? Could you?
It's mad and eclectic, and that's the beautiful thing. You have people like us that have. I wouldn't even say we're from a particularly old school kind of London posse kind of perspective. We came slightly after that time, even though we've listened to those records. But a lot of these guys, like you say, the new wave, don't have any kind of appreciation of hip hop of the old school, but now because they're starting to have this appreciation and they're going back and they're digging back, similar to how I did when I found I listened to Dr. Dre and then I heard the breaks and thought, oh man, who's that? And I found out it was the Meters or Ohio Players, and they're in a similar way, they're kind of going back, and it's a really exciting time right now.
I think it's real interesting as well because I don't think people really accepted UK hip hop music for what it was until it actually came out from like a distinctly UK sound. Because I think a lot of people kind of looked at all the rappers in the UK as just like emulating what was happening in the States, whereas like with the grime guys, when the grime guys came out, that came straight from garage and it kind of evolved in its own way. And after that happened, then people started to actually take it seriously, like, oh wow, this is hip hop music from the UK.
Yeah, also when grime kind of came out, it was this underground thing that a lot of British people didn't know what to do with, so they were just giving it press, so it was just getting mad hype. And it was like, there's been like 5 years of like grime press, when it was like 20 MCs or whatever, you know, and everyone's like, oh, grime, 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 you know, like Vice magazines all over that shit. But
I think it's also because like those guys kind of came out, they had their own kind of demographic automatically. Like it came out of its own culture, like suburban culture, and that's what kind of drove it into the mainstream. Is the fact that there was just
and that's what gave this originality, and that's what's very hip hop about that whole mentality. Is they've always been of a mindset of like, what? Fuck, this is our sound, you know, and that's a very hip hop mentality.
Youth movement as well. It was the kids, man. It was the kids making it on their fucking PlayStations, you know, like they'd hear Garage on the pirate radio stations. PlayStation came out with a little music thing, bang. That's kind of where the grime sound. That's where grime and dubstep sound comes from when it broke away from the two-step, you know, like that's the basis of what the sound is.
So your first album was very much into, I would call it normal hip hop, boom bap. So what changed your mind? What made you start rapping over French house or new rave to dubstep to grime beats? So what changed your mind?
The first album was the first album, and that was us messing with the style, and that was what was really killing it for us at the time. And we needed to we needed to put it out in that style, you know, with the hip hop being, you know, trying to like cement ourselves as a rap group. But even before that, I was doing a lot of drum and bass stuff, and I was doing garage stuff anyway. And I've been in different types of bands doing different music, so we've never been limited. Like even if you listen to, you know, Asylum Speakers, all the tracks are so different from each other. You know, you have like Frosted Perspex, then you have Hold On, and you have like, I don't know, like Coded Rhythm Talk. So the styles are all very different. So we never really limited ourselves to anything. So as soon as that was done, like as soon as Asylum Speakers came out, we rhymed on a Vex beat in 2004. You know, and that was on the Bukaki Ski Trip, which came out in 2005 or whatever. So we were, I mean, like even pre-Asylum Speakers, we were doing that anyway, you know. So
yeah, I think it was a thing that, you know, as I said before, we never really limited ourselves in terms of like the, you know, who we worked with, like whether it was a dubstep rhythm or a drum and bass thing, like whatever. We always just tried to like, you know, we kind of felt like we had to challenge ourselves and be able to flow on anything. So it was kind of like a natural progression that like we were doing, you know, we were working with a lot of different kind of producers, and then when we came out with the last album, I think that really reflected a lot more, you know. Like we started working with Noisier at that point, and you know we did like Get a Bit More, which is definitely more of a grime track, and you know we just tried to mix it up, and that was kind of like a taster of where we're trying to go with it, because that's kind of like the way our live show is anyway, you know. So yeah, that's how we came up to that conclusion.
So the next thing which will come out from you guys is I think this remix project. Could you tell me the range of the styles you got on there? Is it like the album?
It's even more. You see, like Beggars was supposed to be a mixtape, and then the album was going to be like completely freaked out. But then Beggars was like real nice, so we turned it into an album. But like on this remix album, we've got we've got different types of dubstep on there. There's like goth trad with a real deep medi style. Then there's the Schism Excision remixes are on there. Then we got like this real kind of deep rolling. I mean, like all the 140 stuff is real different. There's a guy called Diverse Concepts who's done a real deep rolling stuff. Then we got a beat from Debris, so we did some brand new shit as well. We did like there's Blue Daisy's done a remix. Blue Daisy's this real progressive kind of beats producer from London, making everything from like, you know, real future beat to dubstep. You know, Unit's done something. He's done something like real deep dish kind of like house thing. So
I mean, I think it was just, you know, we wanted to continue that thing of just working, collaborating, and hitting up artists that we really feel. And I think that a lot of the stuff that you're gonna listen to on that remix album is kind of what you'll find us listening to. You know, that's kind of like our sound. So yeah, we really wanted to do that. Really wanted to make it happen. People were saying like, don't do it. And we were like, you know what, middle finger, putting this out, you know what I mean? Because that's what we love, you know.
And you conducted it, via Twitter. So what's going on there? Yeah, I read it. So what's happening? What's going on there? And you reacted.
Tweet nowadays, man. I tell you, every interview we do, people are like, I saw you tweet 3 days ago.
Yeah, well, there's some unfinished business that came up. So I mean, I can speak about it, but I haven't really seen the contracts yet, and nothing's been signed. So somebody wants to use the track that we made with Ono for something. So I was trying to find his publishers, and that's the depth of it, really. So we're trying to get paid. We're trying to get paid. That's it. But yeah, there's some interesting remixes coming up as well, man. We got, yeah, you'll see. You
can give us names, no problem.
All right, well, we're doing an album with Noisier for starters, and then we're doing a project with Alex Perez on Shogun Audio called Par Excellence. It's just straight weird, different kind of grime stuff. It's just real.
Alex, do you know who Alex Perez is? He's like a pretty big drum and bass producer, and we just teaming up with him and doing some crazy stuff. And then yeah, we're also working with Kid Knievel, who's like a hip hop producer, like real sick, like beats producer. And yeah, I mean, we've got some stuff in the pipeline.
There's a big single coming out with this guy called Flux Pavilion, who's a dubstep producer. Then also these guys called Bear Noise, and then there's loads of people, man. Just check out Never Say Die Records. That's where the Dirty Gully Foreign Beggars records are going to be coming from in the near future, man. So yeah, Never Say Die, blood.
Thanks for taking the time.